Hi, Chairperson and Timekeeper. Nice working with you all today. Just a quick question. I'm not too sure if you guys know or not, but like, do all teams get the motions just today, or like, are they given beforehand?
They just give today.
Okay, so just 15 minutes. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Sorry, is Neha here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Sneha, maybe you want to text in the WhatsApp group that you are in room 5 as well, because they think you're
Yeah.
missing.
Okay, I think I have texted the. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. I have already texted them.
Okay, it's okay, no problem.
No issues. Thank you.
One minute left. The preparation time has ended. Speakers, please turn on your cameras so that we can begin.
Great. Are we good to go?
Not yet. Please open your cameras. All right. Before we can start the debate, the speakers for KAIS must state their speaker position. Who is the first speaker?
I'll be going first.
Kamal Arifin, is it?
Yes.
Amelia, me, I'll go second.
Okay. The third? The third speaker?
Teja.
Sorry, Teja, you're
I'm
muted.
Teja. I'll be going third.
Teja. Next, the speakers for Armada United, please state your speaker positions.
I am the first speaker,
Who?
Alice Amalin.
Alice Amali.
Yes.
The second?
I'm Amira, the second speaker.
Yeah. The last?
Hello, I'm Nasuha, second speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon to the honorable adjudicators, lecturers, debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start our debate today, please mute your microphones to ensure there will be no disturbance to the flow of this debate. I would like all participants to turn on. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Who's doing reply? Reply speeches on both teams.
Sorry, yeah, I'll be doing reply for KAIS.
Okay. And op?
I'm doing the reply speech for Armada United.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Chair.
Okay, so continue. So before we start our debate today, please mute your microphones to ensure there will be no disturbance to the flow of this debate. I would like all participants to turn on their cameras for this competition. I'm Sheng Yi and I'll be the chairperson for this debate session. Meanwhile, Sarah Atika will be the timekeeper for this debate. This House would like to call upon the motion that this House support the efforts to fund the creation of self-driving cars. Now, I would like to clarify the rules and regulations of this debate competition. For the starting speech, the timekeeper will ring the bell at the end of the first minute to show that the point or information can now be delivered. The timekeeper will ring once at the beginning of 6 minutes to show that the time for POI is over. The timekeeper will ring twice at the 7 minutes, after which the speaker has 15 seconds to conclude their speech. Then the timekeeper will ring continuously to show that the time is over, and any further explanation will not be taken into account. After both sides have presented their speeches, for 3 minutes will be given to each team to prepare for their reply speech. The opposition side will present their reply speech first, followed by the government side. Reminder, no new arguments and POIs are to be presented in the reply speech. For the reply speech, the timekeeper will ring once at the end of the 3rd minute to indicate that the speaker has 1 minute left to conclude their speech. And the timekeeper will ring twice at the 4th minute, in which the speaker has 10 seconds to conclude. Finally, the timekeeper will ring continuously to indicate that the time is over. All debaters All debaters are expected to have a reliable and good internet connection during this debate. Should there be any unavoidable circumstances where debaters lost connection during their speech, 5 minutes will be granted for debaters to regain their connection. If debaters fail to gain connection within the 5 minutes, marks will be given according to how far they presented before the connection was lost. A sound check will be done now as I announce the speakers of each team. When your name is called, please test your microphone to ensure that you are audible. Please inform the committee if there are any problems or technical issues. Kais from UCSI University will be acting as the government team with Mr. Kamal Arif as the Prime Minister. So you can have a mic check.
Check. Does anyone have any problems hearing me?
No problem.
All right.
Okay. Miss Emilia as the Deputy Prime Minister.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me well and clearly. I
Yes.
believe everyone can do so. All right, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Teja as the Government Whip.
Hi, hello everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Then Armada United from USIM will be acting as the opposition team for this debate. With Miss Alice Amalin will be acting as the opposition leader.
Hi everyone. Hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, thank you. And Miss Amira will be acting as the opposition and deputy leader of opposition.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. And Mr. Nasoha will be acting as the opposition whip.
Everyone, I hope we can give our best.
Thank you. I shall now introduce our adjudicators, Ms. Neha Verma.
Hi guys, I'm Sneha.
And Mr. Cyril Joachim Nathan.
Cyril Joachim, but school. Hi guys, I'm Cyril. All the best for your debate.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I call upon the Prime Minister, Mr. Kamal Arif, to open the case for the government. The floor is yours.
Sorry, before we start, right? This is the timing for like the screen recorded thing is the timer, right? The screen share thing.
Yes.
All right, cool. You're gonna start the moment I start, or you're gonna tell me when I start?
The moment you start, we start.
All right, thank you. Money makes the world go round. And I think this is what we are going to base our debate upon, because essentially it is going to be more beneficial in the long run, financially more beneficial for us to actually fund self-driving cars, fund the creation of self-driving cars for our country moving forward. All right, so addressing the motion, we believe, I think we can both agree that funding the self-driving cars are the funding of cars that can independently drive without a user. They can still drive with a user. However, the main idea is that they can drive without one. How we're going to do this is that we're going to provide financial incentives for companies to do research on this. We're going to try and get as many different companies researching this to move forward by helping them out with funds. Why we think this is the case is that we think this is the most economical and inclusive method of moving forward. All right. So we think we believe this is true based on the fact that having these self-driving cars will reduce road-based accidents due to driver error. A few weeks ago, we had this incident of a senior citizen driving in the opposite direction and causing a lot of problems, and it's gotten to it was such a serious case for people to look onto that our parliament decided to maybe put into law that senior citizens will have a special license in regards to this. What we want to do is, sorry, what was that? POI? Wait until I finish my point, please. All right, so we know this is true, it's happened before, and we finally wanted to take action now. And I think the importance of this is that Malaysia, and in fact most countries, have a huge issue with road-based accidents, and this will help us reduce that amount by a significant margin. Having this reduced amount of accidents will reduce traffic as well, in terms of like cleanup, in terms of having people watching these accidents. And in addition to that, it's going to reduce the cost of damage to infrastructure. In comparison, not having self-driving cars will essentially still have the deaths at a similar rate, and having these deaths also puts an exclusionary clause on what safety measures we can take in our society. Old people who need to get places get excluded. Inebriated members of our society, people who have been drinking, or people who have issues with their ability to drive, will still currently have issues trying to get back home. And my second speaker will in fact address the exclusion of elderly people and disabled people currently having a hard time getting places. All right, PY.
Okay, you said that by funding these self-driving cars will independently drive the user and also reduce the road accident. But did you know that there are also cases where road accident happens due to self-driving cars?
Yes, this is something that we've already accepted as a society, that the research has not been to the degree that we want it to be. That's why it's been held back. Funding these things will actually help reduce those accidents, because we do know for a fact that people will still try to make these self-driving cars. What the government is trying to do is to give more incentive to make sure these things are safer by the time they're ready to come out. And in fact, if we don't do this, the time that they will take to produce self-driving cars is going to be extended, in addition to the fact that they might not be as safe as we want them to be. Okay, moving on. In addition to that, it's going to be reducing traffic time, and we know this to be true as well. Self-driving cars have abilities to communicate with each other. They have a better grasp on trying to navigate through traffic. They can determine the easiest and fastest route for you to take, and this is very important in our ability, essentially, to ensure that traffic would flow smoothly. There would be less traffic congestion. There would be less issues with people getting stuck at places that they didn't need to be, because they would take an unfamiliar road to get to where they needed to be. So less congestion is also very important to societies. They lead to more profits. They lead to a society that has lower stress levels, lower issues with getting to places. Maybe at some point Malaysians won't be known as the people who are always late to places. Comparatively, not having these will have a net loss for our people. Many companies and cities lose a lot of revenue due to traffic congestion and late employees. Sorry, do you have a POI?
Yes.
All right, just let me finish this last point and we'll try and get to it before 6 minutes. So these companies and cities that lose a lot of revenue due to traffic congestion and late employees will have a better way to increase profits. I'll get back to this after your POI.
Okay, so you say that people can go to place when they have the self-driving cars. Don't you know that nowadays we have Waze, Google Maps, and others to help? So I don't think that this self-driving cars is necessary to be funded by us.
All right. So the issue with the thing that I'm trying to bring up, which I feel like I might have had difficulty getting to you, is not based on the navigation system. It is instead based on how smoothly they can drive and what will overall improve the flow of traffic. Because essentially humans actually take shortcuts which end up causing traffic to be slower. Self-driving cars will know the best methods to move forward, and this will help us to get places. This will help cities reduce congestion by a significant amount, allowing for an increase in profits for both cities and companies, allowing for the economy to flourish. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. The Prime Minister spoke for 6 minutes 50 seconds. Next, let us invite the opposition leader, Ms. Alice Amalin, to state the opposition's objection with regards to today's motion.
Okay, hi everyone, good morning. So I'm going to start my debate upon Prime Minister explanation just now, that he said how funding for a self-driving car can actually reduce the traffic jams, and then the rate of accident happen. So I actually have some, but Prime Minister failed to explain how guaranteed it is that the funding can actually reduce the accident that will happen. And will the fundal organization will take control over it? So for example, a self-driving car is actually a car that is a machine intelligence that can drive the car by its own right. So it has a passenger at the back. So I'll give you a situation. What happened if anything happened to the passengers inside the self-driving car, and then it will hit something that is unpredictable. So here my point is that how self-driving car is actually a lack of ability to judge something. It is because we wouldn't know whether it hit something, it hit a tree, or it actually hit other innocent pedestrian, because maybe several program errors happen in the self-driving car. And for this issue, I would like to address how self-driving car is actually it's not going to bring a justice for the passengers who had been the victim for the accident causes by the self-driving car program errors. So I think both of these outcome is a casualties. So who will take the blame for? Is it the company of the funder for this self-driving car, or the car itself? So it will then bring a bad reputation for the funder company lah, funder company. So I can say how self-driving car is not the best option to be funded, as the self-driving car itself, it is a high technology, so it causes so expensive. So if we how about if we shifted the funder to anything, to something that is better than self-driving car, because we wouldn't know the unexpected event happen whenever the self-driving car gone to error. As the Prime Minister just said, how the accidental could happen with the driver itself, without the self-driving car, but self-driving car can reduce the accidental rate. So actually I come out how it is both a similarity situation. Accidents could happen if anything error, if anything of the car error. So self-driving car, it would causes accident happen also when there is a machine like system problem, system broke down. For example, their brake. So if a not self-driving car, which means that there is a driver inside of it, they can take control over it. They can take control of the accident, but not but different from the self-driving car. So from this, I can assure how program error of self-driving is finding for self-driving that will then be unexpected event like program error is not the best option in the side of the opposition, because we wouldn't want to put the passengers justice at its bottom, because how can we like bring up the justice for the people in the self-driving car, even though it's a high technology, it's efficiency, it's good of its advantages, but we have to look forward for the consequences. If funding for a lot of more self-driving car, meaning to say that thousand of self-driving cars, what if some of them, like most of them, 50% of them
Sorry, POI.
Yes.
Do you want to finish your statement?
No, you can proceed.
All right. So you asked who is the blame, whether or not it's the funder or the company. Will put the blame on the companies. So yes, the companies will have to take responsibility, and that is precisely the incentive for them to do better, to improve the technologies, and for us to have a better advancing in self-driving cars. Thank you.
All right. I'll move on to answer your question and your statement of that. But I think that is all from my explanation here. I propose my point how self-driving car is not funding for self-driving car is not an efficiency act. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alice Amalin. The opposition leader spoke for 6 minutes 29 seconds. To continue our debate today, I call upon the Deputy Prime Minister, Ms. Emilia, to counter the opposition's arguments.
All right, okay. So thank you to the opposition for your slightly misguided opinions there. So first, I'd like to address what you mentioned earlier, which is justice, justice for the drivers itself, yes? So who, as my first speaker already mentioned, the funder is to blame itself, because they will take the responsibility, precisely the incentive for companies to do even better. And yes, you mentioned about accidents, and then similar to human accidents. So what I'm trying to say is that human error accidents are less avoidable than machine error, right? So in other words, human errors are harder to reduce, and we can always program computers to do better. But human errors are just human because it's in human nature. But computers, we generate computers, so we can actually create computers to do even better every time it makes a mistake. So moving on to my point, that what we believe in is that I'll continue from where my first speaker has already spoken about, where research, our third and fourth point, which is third, research, there will be more research, different kind of variety, all the varieties of different researches in technology that might be used for different applications. If there is funds for the self-driving cars, it would be a stepping stone for further researches in this industry itself. So it acts as a future stepping stone or current stepping stone for innovation. Example, drowsiness detector, which is already a thing, but it is not funded. So if self-driving cars start to be funded, this will actually make the ball rolling to start other innovations, to fund more different types of innovation that is all in the basis of safety for the drivers and everyone on the road itself. So our point is this would bring about all the different researches in the future. So, all right, for example, why it is good to fund, we believe that we should fund self-driving cars, especially in Malaysia, is because that it is seen that there are lower accident rates with no safety drivers, and we will expand relatively quickly in climates which there's not many changes, especially in Malaysia. We don't have 4 seasons, so people the speed of research would actually be faster than compared to other countries itself. So with the funds going into self-driving cars, and if it were mass produced, it'll become more economical, it'll become more affordable to a wider range of audience, and eventually become a cheaper option. And again, we're just not talking about safety, we're just not focusing on the safety of people in the car, but we're also talking about all the safety around every road users and all the stakeholders as well. So, and another thing, to support this, where more research would actually stem out of this, is that there is a potential it can bring to reduce the usage of fossil fuels. So especially looking back how Tesla has been able to produce automatic self-driving cars that utilizes electricity. This actually reduces pollution in one other way. As you can see, more research has been stemmed out from this if we were to fund in this one activity. So it also, if there, another example, if this would start up the drowsiness detector research, you could also reduce those who get drinkers who they can actually reach home safely with the self-driving cars. Second point that we want to talk about is we do not want to turn into a non-ableist and ageist society. As you can see, people just last September, the police they said there's a call for driving license for senior citizens to be restricted. We are turning into an ageist society, and clearly this is a time for automated cars to be a thing, to be launched, to happen right now. So, and 2 things that I point out here: 1, ableist and ageist. Another thing with self-driving cars, it would open new horizons to a wider audience of the community, not just those who are able and capable, like I believe everyone here, but those who are less capable. In other words, disabled people can also have opportunity to actually go and commute themselves without using, privately in their own comforts. So also old people, let's say, okay, youngsters, we all know we are all young here today, right? And we especially architects, we don't really have much time. So as our senior citizens, our family members who are rather much older than us, they would obviously definitely want to travel and visit their working children, especially now in the pandemic itself. They would want to travel and meet us across borders. So self-driving cars would actually enable that, and they can meet up with us and eventually closer the bond between the family itself, family ties, right? So eventually we do not want to grow into we do not want to enable a platform or this society we live in to be more ableist and ageist, but yet with just one funding of a self-driving car would open so many horizons, so many different doors for future innovation, and it can become a precedent for the future generation to understand where we are moving forward, from how we are moving forward. Yes, so once again, I like to reiterate whatever the government believes, that we support the efforts to fund creation of self-driving cars, and the 4 points, which is it would definitely reduce road-based accidents due to driver error, and it would reduce traffic time, and it will be a stepping stone for all the different technologies or new research. And finally, we do not want to turn into an ableist and ageist society. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Emilia. The Deputy Prime Minister spoke for 7 minutes 14 seconds. Next, I would like to call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Ms. Amira.
Okay, all right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So good evening. So before that, I would like to rebut the Deputy Prime Minister have mentioned that the government itself will be responsible on the accident happened so that the company will become more even better. But I think that it's not really convincing because when you have a responsible, you have responsible for any damage accident, but will they take control if the same issues happen again and again? And if the accident happen, you will consider on the reputation itself. When the company have bad reputation, and then the society already have been seeing you in the backside of the company, so it is not worth to having a fund into the company that are having creation of the self-driving cars because of one mistake. It will going to be bad reputation. Okay, and moving on to my point. First, I would like to highlight that first, do you ever consider on the security issue? It would like, it's like imagine when the self-driving cars replace the automatic or manual cars. In order for it to function, all those cars will definitely be connected to a network. So if the network is hacked or disrupted, the cars will no longer be able to continue its function properly. So in this case, it can cause large-scale accident. No matter how advanced the program is, there will always be highly skilled hackers or programmers that could wreck it. Like, for example, we could see this, we could experience in this new normal, it is in this new new situation happened, which is Malaysian hackers hack the information of the Israel to so that they can have their private information. So it shows that the hackers. Oh wait, okay. I will small the scope into in Malaysia. So in this case, it shows that Malaysia hackers itself have their own. They have a really advanced skill in hacking. So in this security issue, how can you predict when they hack when the self-driving car is hacked? And the idea that you could have some sort of model that will just say that okay, the cars will be hacked, it is not possible in these self-driving cars. And then though that technology can give us the output from a set of data and information stored previously, it just cannot curate on its own. When okay, another thing is when we talk about security issue, we would consider on the bribing. When we say bribe, it's lot of we have a variety of society. We don't know who are going to bribe someone. For example, if the some kind of person that have higher up a title in these self-driving cars, how do you know people that bribe this company that will just make this hack these self-driving cars, and then the self-driving car itself and will go accident just to kill this person. And that is one of the it's not worth to fund the creation of self-driving cars. And then my second point is, I would like to say that if the funding the creation of the self-driving cars will lead to job losses. Why self-driving cars will make the job will make more job opportunity losses is because when the for example, we just take a simple example like a taxi car, a taxi driver. When people want to whenever usually whenever passenger want to go to another place, they will take taxi cars to go to the to some place. But then with this technology, they would remove the taxi driver just because already have the self-driving cars. So in this case, when there's many self-driving car produced, every passenger would rely on these self-driving cars to go anyway. So the effect is on the taxi driver car. The uses of the taxi driver have no works. So it is not worth to fund the fund to the self-driving car, but the use of the funding to self-driving the use of the funding is more worth to fund into the person that have more needed in the money or wage. So I think that that is my point. So I oppose to support the effort to fund the creation of these self-driving cars. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira. The Deputy Leader of Opposition, spot for 6 minutes 49 seconds. Nice. Next, I would like to call upon the government with Ms. Teja. The floor is yours.
Okay. Okay, I would like to begin with addressing what the opposing team which have said. But firstly, we have been just keep going back and forth on this companies issue, which the companies will clearly want to make sure accidents won't happen, and that there's economic interest for them. In addition, we as the government team, when giving financial incentive, will obviously create regulations to ensure safety and test runs before releasing the cars. Okay, we're not denying issues, but we're just making the comparison that this move is much better than not doing anything at all and just staying back, just worrying about the fact that the companies are going to have a bad reputation if there's an accident going to happen, because no matter what, accidents tend to happen. Self-driving cars will be one of the ways where you can also eliminate these accidents from happening by having these sensing and perception errors or crashes that result in a driver's distraction. And also that the speaker have mentioned about some security issues, which I would like to address. That some experts think that it may never be possible to fully secure an a self-driving vehicle because of their complexity. However, this vehicle's technology can certainly be made more secure, even though this type of vehicle cyber attacks is a worrying issue. So like a few things which we could do to strengthen the security is by having like a good chance for your vehicles to come up with a default password, which you can make the passwords more stronger and difficult for the hackers to try and break in. Although yes, they will try to definitely break in, and some may also be able to get through your security and password system. But these are only one of the ways which you can add to your security. There are also many other ways. For example, Sorry, what?
Okay. You said that some experts have said that the system of this self-driving cars is fully secure. So can you show us which company and which company that agree with that?
Sorry, I didn't say it's fully secure. What I meant to explain is that they think it's impossible to fully secure these type of vehicles. Does that answer your question? Okay, anyways, I'll be moving on that there are many various security issues, and one of the things which you could do is definitely update the vehicle software. The latest software for a vehicle will include the most up-to-date patches and the most up-to-date securities. And vehicle makers should also definitely we would like to how do I say, to hire these people who are really good and who are always in the top tier. Like for example, Google believes that their self-driving cars are really good and stuff because they definitely have a hiring rate which is very high, and they only hire those most skillful people to do and to build these self-driving cars. So that is one of the things which you can do to really tighten your security system, as well as to make a more better and improving car from preventing these accidents and strengthen your security, as you have mentioned earlier. And also that I think you have also mentioned about loss of jobs for taxi car drivers, is that if one door closes, definitely another door opens. There will be other job vacancies even before self-driving cars happen. Like for example, Grab came up and definitely the taxi drivers also were out of jobs. So if you want to compare saying that if once self-driving cars appear, that taxi drivers are going to lose their jobs, then I think you can already say that they've already lost their jobs now. So it wouldn't be a much difference once the self-driving cars appear. So really you can't blame self-driving cars for this, could you? And would you rather stay in an outdated service relying on taxis instead of giving more opportunities to a wider spectrum of audience? So also sorry. So in self-driving cars, it makes a more ethical reason, and it makes much more sense to have these self-driving cars back. And driving will always involve risk for various type of groups, and definitely to make it more safer, there are these algorithms which will definitely be installed in the driving mechanism itself to make it more easier to reduce these car accidents and all that to happen. So therefore, many may argue that this justifies the case for self-driving vehicles, but to me, the positives outweigh the negatives for the self-driving cars. So firstly, the self-driving cars are created by some of the most innovative and educated people of today's society. So the intent of these innovations is to create a better society for drivers and the planet. And in addition to self-driving cars have proven to be a significantly safer than actually having a driver. Instead, this has been shown by numerous studies as well. So in the long run, self-driving cars will definitely increase efficiency and productivity for people around the world. So lastly, humans will need to create and also have a more wider knowledge and understanding towards the self-driving cars in order to create a more advanced and better society. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Teja, for the points given. The government whip spot for 7 minutes 29 seconds. Next, I would like to call upon the opposition whip, Mr. Nasoha, to present his case.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, speakers, members of the House. So today, I believe that these debates have boiled down to focus on some major issues and area of clashes, and they are about the car road accident, responsibility, security issues, and job losses. And it is my pleasure to show you that our side wins in all of them. So before that, I would like to show the members of the House what is the mistake that is done by the government side. So this government didn't state the direction of this motion, who's the stakeholder of this motion, and didn't have a significant objective of why they need to support the efforts to fund the creation of self-driving cars. So they have this motion, but they don't know who they are going to help. So we on the opposition come with a better and clearer definition, where this from what my opposition leader have said, that this House should not support the efforts to find the creation of self-driving cars, where self-driving cars is an autonomous self-driving without a real driver. Okay. Before I start, I would like to give you a POI.
All right. Sorry. Thank you. We've actually addressed the things that you've mentioned time and time again. The stakeholders being the people, the citizens, along with the companies and cities.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not done.
First of all, okay, thank you. I understand.
We've also mentioned that it's about safety and money in the long run. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, why I say that this government don't know who their stakeholder, because first they are saying that they are going to help the enhancement of research technology, and then they are saying that they are going to help the people to go to places that are uncommon, and then they are saying that we as a society cannot be an ageist society. So what are they really want to help for this motion today? So I think this motion has become a destroyed motion by the government itself. Okay. Okay. Next, I would like to show the members of the House about about the clashes in this debate today. So first, the government have said that by funding these self-driving cars will lead to reduce road accident, because this funding will help the technology to enhance the research of self-driving cars. But we can really see how that this is going, how this fund is going to work effectively, because this fund creation, they also don't define on the stage of this creation, whether it is preliminary, it is in the process, or afterwards. So what I can say, but we have rebut this point by saying that my opinion, that I can say that road accident happens whether we have the self-driving cars or we don't have the self-driving cars, and we could actually reduce the accident car roads by enforcement, by the law of enforcement. So I don't really see the needs to quickly support the efforts to fund these self-driving cars. And next, the Prime Minister also said that people can go to place that uncommon. And I said that we have Waze and other Google Maps, but he said that this will allow the economy to flourish. But do you know that we can use the money in other aspects of community life, because we can use it to help the citizens' education, we can help the citizens' family household subsidies, and many more. And this self-driving, this fundament for the self-driving cars, what I can see is a selfish decision for the government, because they don't consider the stakeholders. And the third speaker has said that if we have one door closes, there's always another job, and this shows that the government didn't take care of the complacency of the citizens, because when we have complacency, it will lead to riots and other things that will destroy this beloved country. And then for the second speaker, what I can say, she said that funding will lead to better function of the self-driving cars. I don't have a clear mind on what they are going to help, what is their objective. So I don't think that funding will lead to better function, because it will not help any stakeholders of the motion, and also the citizen will be abandoned just like that. I would like to go to the second clashes of this debate, the responsibility. The responsibility of the government said that the company will take full responsibility, but this responsibility is not only the consideration, but to avoid the car road accident. So if we just consider, okay, if a car road accident happens, we will take the responsibility. So how many car road accidents do you want to have in this country? 1,000, millions, billions? I leave that question to the government. And the next is the security issues, where the third speaker have agreed with me that the pros have said that the self-driving car will not have impossible to be secure. So this has support our motion that this house doesn't support the efforts to fund the creation of self-driving cars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nasoha. The opposition will speak for 7 minutes 29 seconds. Now, 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare for their reply speech. The time starts now. 1 minute left. Your 3 minutes is up. Ladies and gentlemen, this debate will resume with the reply speech. Let us now invite the opposition team to sum up the case for today's debate.
Okay, I will start my reply speech. Okay, to sum up, our point is we have given first lack of ability to make judgment. So in this case, how the ability to make judgment is to give the how the company have given the responsibility. So in lack of ability to make judgment, they wanted to that will lead to accident that is unexpected and sure. So and another point is job losses. So we have mentioned that if the self-driving cars is going to be fund to support the fund of the self-driving car, so it will affect to the taxi driver. But then the government team have mentioned that the taxi driver there will be another door opens, and the taxi driver itself can find another job, and we are our point stress. Our point is stick to the status quo, which is the environment right now, how the situation right now. So in this case, we want to, how you look in the COVID-19 perspective. Whenever when the self-driving cars have been created more and more, and then the job opportunity of the taxi driver have been loses. When in this COVID-19, it's so hard to find another job. It's so hard, and when the taxi driver itself, they already have suitable in this job, and then you expect them to change it easily. You expect them they have the power to change it easily. Do you have any consideration in the how the taxi driver are having health problem, or they are having financial issue in to find another job? And then another job, and then for the point of the security issue, for this point, you will say that when so you say that they want to reduce the driver error, which will improve safety overall. And then another point is want to be so sorry. So they want to for the government point, they say that they want to have an old people that can no longer drive a nuisance, something like that. But have you ever think how the it's like whenever there will be a lot of self-driving cars, maybe the older it should be more, it should be they're using okay, that's all. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira, for summing up the opposition's team. Lastly, we welcome the government team to sum up their case for today's debate.
I find no triumph, no honor in trying to address the issues that we've brought up throughout this debate, mainly because side opposition keeps on missing the essential part of our debate, the part where self-driving cars will become a reality no matter what we decide to put into this. I do think we as government have addressed the fact that this is what we want to do moving forward to ensure the safety and the financial benefit of our economy in doing so. So, like I said, OP has not put in any effort to address at any point what they would do to regulate self-driving cars at all. They mentioned a few throwaways during the reply speech and the third speaker, which at that point is really missing the point of what a setup is. And I don't know why they didn't bring it up earlier in the first and second position, where they could have addressed regulation, which we could have interacted with, but it came at a point where we now cannot actually interact with any alternative that they could have provided. Moving on, we mentioned that the government incentivizing these roads, this actually makes roads safer. It progresses the production of self-driving cars faster and safer through our incentives, because we can actually regulate what they need to do and what accomplishments they actually need to have before they can let this out onto the mass market. Instead, they keep reaffirming that it could never be safe enough. And we've actually, in addition to us having addressed all the questions regarding this, about how it will actually be safe enough because we can still keep programming. And even if it never reaches to a point where it could be its safest, humans learn at a rate much slower than these computers, because we can program these things in a few years, but making humans learn things takes a period of a couple generations to get to the point where we actually need to. And we've addressed this several times as well. And it's confusing why we're the only ones addressing a way to reduce all these issues when this is exactly what this debate is about. So the points brought up by side government relates to trying to get to a place where our government can benefit from these self-driving cars, where our citizens can benefit from these self-driving cars as soon as possible and as safe as possible, in terms of reducing accidents and reducing traffic and allowing for more technologies that can be applied in different fields and a more inclusive society. And it was very hard to hear a lot of our points being strawmanned by the whip speaker of the opposition side, trying to make it something that it wasn't, and addressing issues that we didn't really address. Every time he came up with a question, in fact, we can see this from our third speaker, where he asked why we thought, like, could we provide any proof about it being completely safe at some point, when we didn't say that. We said that opposition said that it could never be completely safe, and the burden of proof is there on them, and we still managed to address this. There were lots of slippery slopes, saying that one accident will devolve into riots and will somehow also lead to millions of car accidents, which really don't make sense compared to each other. There were no offers of rebuttals of substance. First speaker had a problem with setting up or providing alternatives that were throwaway about regulations as a setup several times. I do admit they made an effort, but I don't think it was good enough. security, justice, and loss of jobs. I think loss of jobs was the only solid point that they made, and they still glossed over this and made it like the last subject for them to enter within our conversation. There was not much to address within that conversation as well. And like the final speaker said, the reply speech, sticking to status quo is actually the exact problem that we had with COVID-19. If we were more proactive, many people would have, a lot of people could have been saved, and a lot more money could have been saved within our economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamalaris, for summing up the government's case. Ladies and gentlemen, with that marks the end of the debate today. Honorable adjudicators will be directed to another breakout room for 10 minutes to decide the winner of this debate.
Do we go ourselves, or like are we going to be assigned?
You'll be assigned.
Also,
Right.
can we
Just
talk
wait
to
a
the
minute.
other people already?
Hmm?
Can we talk to like the other members now?
Yes, you can, I think.
All right. Hey, Armada guys, it was nice debating with you. Which one of you was like the additional person, the fourth person?
We are all
Architecture students.
the ones talking are all the architecture students.
Oh my God, you guys did such a good job. Wow.
It's our first time.
No worries. Yeah, it's our first time too.
Yeah.
It's your first time debating?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
Kamal, you are archi student too?
Yeah.
Oh, what year?
I'm diploma sem break. Yeah, I'm supposed to be in sem 6, but I deferred due to COVID. So like they're not offering anything this semester. But like, what like programs are you guys in?
Is it all degree or?
Yeah, I degree.
Alright.
I'm the only one I'm taking computer science.
Oh wow!
Oh, so you're the one.
I'm so glad we didn't have to face an actual debater.
Exactly.
Oh my God, yeah. We were so worried. We knew for a fact people wouldn't pick us because we only had 3 people.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
guys were good.
How are
Thanks a
you
lot.
guys be so calm? How are you guys so calm and debating?
Calm.
Yeah.
Do we really look calm?
You did look calm.
Okay, everyone. If you're done debating, I want all the 2 rooms to be I want all the 2 teams to leave this current room. So on your right hand side, there will be a blue leave button, so you guys can exit to the main session, and educators will talk from here. They will discuss who's going to win.
All right. Guys, good luck with the rest of your game. With the rest of your debates.
See you again later.
You too.
All right. Bye. See you too.
Bye.
Thanks.